A lot of people have grown up and lost their sense of value, of well-being and worthiness. And from that disconnected place, they pass their own disconnection to others, specifically when it comes to sexuality or sensuality. For years on top of years, people have evaluated the subject of sexuality over and over and over. They pass laws about it, they amend laws, they come to agreement with others about the correct attitudes and approaches when it comes to sex. They enforce these laws, and they create these laws and enforce these laws from lackful positions. Rules and laws about sexuality differ from culture to culture, generation to generation, society to society, religion to religion. And how you feel about the subject at the time basically has to do with the economic impact of that current era. Sexual laws or rules in general are made by people who are out of alignment. Okay, and when I say out of alignment, I mean out of alignment with the universe. And when I say the universe, I mean God. I use the term God to describe to other people the omnipresence of the universe and how I feel about the universe. Like how people feel about God is how I feel about the universe. It's an interchangeable word to me. Universe equals God. God equals universe. The universe will bring someone to you who is a match to you. If you understand that that's what the universe does, you would not be concerned about the behaviors of other people. You would not fear that their behavior will negatively impact you. That's being in tune with God. So when people chastise others about their sexuality or things that they're, doing, those are people who are out of alignment with God, because I don't think that God is that petty. What you attract comes to you. And in your fear of unwanted things, those things will come to you. You make decisions and laws and rules that are not only impossible to enforce, but they foster even more of a behavior you seek to eliminate. I've read plenty of books, I experienced plenty of things, and I can tell you that a lot of the things that I've read and experienced give me the opportunity to even say this type of thing to you. The harder you push against something you don't want, the more of what you do not want comes into your experience. So the large amount of pushing against the subject of sexuality comes from people of various religious groups who believe that God has spoken to humans. A lot of people believe that God has spoken to humans. And the amount of pushing against sexuality comes from people of religious backgrounds. And they feel like God spoke to them and gave them specifics about sexuality. But there's so much inconsistency in all of those messages that they feel like they've received from God. If someone who is claiming that they are receiving God, if they're standing in a place of blaming others or chastising others, that's not of God. God is of love. God is of love and acceptance. So when these rules and these laws come along and you guys say all of these horrible things that are basically based upon religion, that becomes an impossible thought process to me. That becomes an impossible theory to me, because you can't say in one sentence that God is loving and accepting and then turn around and say God has these laws when it comes to sexuality, because when you speak about these things, it's coming from a guarded, blameful place. You can't say that what you have received from God is right and what others have received from God is wrong. That holds you in a place of resistance from that very God that you're talking about. There is no God that has come to a final or correct conclusion about the way life should be lived. That's something that people do. Humans do that, especially when it comes to sexuality.